by the sword, you can't do it. So if you look at other countries, I see great, creative, how this comes together. How do we stop that?
Well, one of the first things you have to realize is, it is about that ideology, which is totalitarian, theocratic, political.
So what's that Democratic Party going to do with this?
And that's what we have to be focused on.
I don't know.
Not individuals.
Not my decision.
Because when I was in Iraq,
So how come they got you to come out here and do it?
The people that we are
How
working with
come
over
you
the
were willing to
balls,
come out and do it?
there are people that want a better way of
I'm a
life.
Democrat.
What we have to have is principled
Yeah,
leadership in this country.
Yeah, it's my job.
Because when you look at the national security strategy, it says nothing about Islamic terrorism.
Are they afraid of the
Muslim
Republicans?
extremism,
Do you
jihadism,
think we're going to beat them?
completely whitewashed.
We don't go to
You
their
have
friends
a
and hang
head
out.
of the Homeland Security Department
Tracking
that says
everybody's
she
just
is
tracking.
more
Democrats, Republicans.
nuanced word of man-caused disasters and not
We don't care about
terrorism.
Ron Klein.
Yeah, I know, but Ron Klein hasn't been around
That
here.
is not comfortable
Ron Klein
to
doesn't
say
show
in
for his
certain
own
terms. You put yourself in a position where the reality of your enemy must
I mean, have you
become
seen
your
the
own. You cannot wish away the
video
problem
of like
and be
someone
as
filming Lexi Julius, senator, candidate, Illinois? What did you think even though Bob Etheridge obviously reacted like an idiot, what do you think that was?
You're making an excuse that everyone's doing it, so it's okay.
What?
You're making an excuse that everyone's doing it, so it's okay. How do you really feel?
This is about standing up for Western
No, I'm not making an excuse.
This is
That's
about
how I feel.
standing up for us as
This is
a
a public forum.
republic and the rule of
Everybody.
law, which means that
Are you afraid of pound words getting out? I mean, people are filming this. I don't understand why.
we must not
See what I'm saying?
get to the point
They're not
where
gonna
we're
pay to
so
do it.
hung up on multiculturalism on steroids
It's just funny. It's a
that
little
we are
ironic.
willing
It's a little...
to sacrifice our own culture and who we
So,
are. And that's the threat, and that's
What
the
is-
danger when you look across the sea to London,
Just the fact that
you
it
look
needs
to
to be done.
France, you look to Belgium. I went back a couple of days ago and I read the story about what's happening in Malmo, Sweden. Malmo, Sweden now is down to 769 Jewish residents. Because they pretty much just
Hope we're having a good
intimidated
year
them
today.
out. I see these bumper stickers around now here that say coexist. And I
There we go,
believe
yeah.
that we can coexist with other people because that's what the United States of America is all about.
now the coexist bumper sticker line.
Does not mean sacrificing who you are in your own culture. And I'll give you a great example. How many people remember Theo Van Gogh, the Dutch filmmaker? Okay, Theo Van Gogh was attacked because of a movie that he made. And he was shot and then stabbed to death on the streets. One of the witnesses
Yeah, he knows it. I've seen him before.
and
He's
reported
filming him since March.
that as Theo Van Gogh was
when he
being stabbed in
offered
the
that
chest,
invitation.
Why should I
he said he
respond
was
to that?
attacked.
He knows you're filming.
Can we just talk about
I'm
this?
not hiding it. I'm filming it right out
Not
here.
to tell you
I'm not hiding
something.
it.
I told you I'd go and film this
In
one.
the figurative
There's a
sense,
nice spot right there. Maybe even
someone is
better
driving
than
a stake into
You
your
want me to?
country.
I mean,
Into your
Actually,
culture.
Yeah, go in front.
you. You can sit next to
Time
Austin
to
if you
come
want.
You want to be up front.
bullshit.
There's a chair open. You might as well get your money's worth.
Yeah. It's fine. This is just a good review. This is just a good review. You good?
I've lived
Nice
in
to
Florida
meet you.
basically all my life, and I was always told that Florida always is the first state to show a no recession, and the first state to show a wild recession. And the reasoning is that when people feel comfortable about spending money, they come to Florida to spend their money, to vacation. So this is true. The way to get Florida's economy going is really not so much in Florida. It's more or less when you go to Congress and talking to them and saying, look, we need to get our economy going so all states can benefit, because when all states benefit, Florida does. It needs to be lower taxes, it needs to be all these things. Capitalism has to free market. We have to have a free market system. There's only so much taxes. And so it gets to the point about taxes, how much taxes? There's been talk about what is a cap? What should be the cap?
I mean, I don't do anything with it. I just give it to my bosses. So I don't know what
How
they do
much
with it.
taxes
It's not my
should be
job.
legally at the most
My job's to
required
film people.
for American citizens? Because we go back like Christians
Apartment.
said, give what the Caesar is Caesar's.
Woke up.
So we are to pay our taxes, and no matter what it is, and so it is. and whatever the government says. But there has to be one percent, and like you hopefully, that will say, look, we need to have a fair tax. What should be that fair tax be? Whether it's a fair tax, whatever it is.
Where do you go to school?
It has to be
Someone
something
needs to
fair.
get the mic.
What are you going to do in Congress about doing that? Because that's going to get the economies going.
Well, and that's what I said. I think that's the number one thing that we have to tackle is getting away from this progressive tax system and transferring the wealth of the American people back to you. Being in, I like the idea of a flat tax as a phasing and bridging mechanism to get to a fair tax. But I think we have to reform this system, and you're right. And the young lady here brought up an interesting point. I may be going up to Washington, D.C. as a direct representative of Congressional District 22, but every vote that you make up there affects people all across this country. And I think people have to have that strategic perspective. And this is the number one thing that has to happen, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to change 39 seats in the House of Representatives. Last week, Nancy Pelosi said this. She said, unemployment checks are the means by which you stimulate the economy and create jobs and growth. Now, if you want Alan West to be able to make a difference, along with 39 or 40 others, you got Joe Budd sitting up there running the Congressional District 19. Stand up there. You've got to get people that have that shared principle of governance that says it's about empowering the American people, not enslaving them. Because as taxation gets higher and higher, that's more of your liberty and freedom that is taken away from you. And you're right. If we continue to believe in what we have down here in Florida, with the tourism industry, with the cruise ship industry, people don't have money, they're not coming here. And then will eventually, the second, third order effects will affect the entire economy of South Florida, be in our restaurants, be in our shops, the whole 9 yards. So that's the strategic perspective that I bring, and I understand that absolutely. But you know something? Like Plato said, one of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you will be governed by your inferiors. It's not about what I would do.
Thanks.
What are you going to do on the 2nd of November, 2010?
Why would I go up in front of
Been very concerned lately with the appointment of Sotomayor to the Supreme Court, and now Elena Kagan, who it looks like is on a train wreck. These people do not believe in the rule of law. They are going to be a permanent 30, 40-year voice against our country. What can we do as people other than hope you get elected? And what can we do to stem the tide of the legislation by the foot and this runaway, crazed executive orders that may be coming out of everywhere? What can we do, Al?
Well, that is the critical thing. I mean, we have to get people to realize that this is a republic. Being a republic is about the rule of law. The rule of law for us is the Constitution. And we need to have those checks and balances that the founding fathers talked about, so that we don't have this legislation from the bench. And we also don't have the rule by edict. Things are supposed to go through the House of Representatives. But as I said, Nancy Pelosi is still your Speaker of the House. She's controlling what legislation gets to the floor of the
Public
House.
amendment too, right?
So that's one of the critical things we have to do. Think about what happened not too long ago. They had a decision about the Second Amendment. The case that was brought up from Chicago, where an elderly, let's say it, an elderly black man said, I need to have the right to protect myself. And Chicago is not allowing me to do so. But what I find absolutely scary is that 4 Supreme Court justices thought, you don't have a Second Amendment right now. Now that's the real scary thing. And what has Chicago come back and done? They thumbed their nose at the Supreme Court, and they said, we're not going to have any gun stores in the city of Chicago. This is a very serious time that we're living in, that everyone has to get on the internet, research. You've got to verify the information that you're seeing. Just don't sit back and be a lemming for whatever reason and think that everyone that has a talking head and a voice should be taken for rote scripture and truth. You've got to try these things, and you've got to verify these things. But I have to tell you something. Right now, this is the